The most bitter rivalry in the Northeast Conference is renewed tonight, and the two best players will meet as well. It's Jeremy Good of Mount St. Mary's against Jeremy Chappelle of Robert Morris. A trip to the tournament goes to the winner of the Northeast Conference Championship game.
Use that crowd for us. Use that crowd for us.
Welcome to Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. We're inside the Sewell Center here on the campus of Robert Morris. The top two seeds in the Northeast Conference have made it to the title game. The top seed Robert Morris meets the number 2 seed Mount St. Mary's. The Colonials beat St. Francis and Quinnipiac, both by double figures. Mount St. Mary's won a squeaker by 5 over Sacred Heart in the semis. That sets up a rematch of last year's title game in the Northeast Conference. So it's either Mount St. Mary's or Robert Morris that will join this list of teams already having secured a spot in the NCAA tournament. Hi again, everyone. I'm Bob Bashuz. I'm here with Mark Adams. I don't know if we could ask for much more, right? You got the best two teams in this conference. It's a rivalry game. And we were talking to the coaches earlier today. They don't like each other very much.
Oh, it's not just a rivalry. There's some bad blood here in both these teams. They want to get after each other. Mount St. Mary's has knocked out Robert Morris the last 2 seasons in this very tournament, and now they get another shot tonight at Robert Morris. Bad blood everywhere in Pittsburgh.
Let's take a look at our Star Watch, and we have arguably the 2 best backcourt players in this conference.
Definitely the 2 best. Jeremy Good, I think the 2nd best player in the Northeast Conference, and Jeremy Chappelle, arguably one of the best all-around basketball players in college basketball. There you see his numbers, but he's put up Northeast Conference-type championship numbers throughout his career.
Our starting lineups are brought to you by Papa John's, and we'll take a look at Mount St. Mary's first. Now, alongside Jeremy Good in the backcourt, they've got another great player in Gene Kaju.
Gene Kaju can do a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of Drell McNeil in him from Marquette. He can steal the ball. He's very good in the open court and can bang some threes.
And for Robert Morris in the front court, Rob Robinson has been a great find for this program.
I love this kid's game because he makes a difference inside. He can score with his back to the basket. He's a big athlete that can run and jump. He makes a difference for Robert Morris.
Mount St. Mary's 19-12 overall, 12-6 in the Northeast Conference. Milan Brown in his 6th season took over for the legend Jim Phelan. Basically left for a couple of years after being an assistant to Phelan, went as an assistant at William & Mary, and was brought back as the heir apparent. And Mike Rice, in only his 2nd season, is back-to-back in his first 2 seasons in the Northeast Conference, the Jim Phelan NEC Coach of the Year. So there's some irony. This series goes back a long way, and Mark, it has developed into the best rivalry in this conference.
It really has. Both these teams have traded wins and losses throughout this series. Of course, Robert Morris has gotten the best of Mount St. Mary's during the regular season, but Mount St. Mary's has paid them back in postseason play, eliminating Robert Morris last year in the semifinals, and now tonight they meet for the Northeast Conference Championship.
Good recovery by Francisco. Lost it out of bounds with 11 seconds on the shot clock, but it stays with Robert Morris. The Colonials at 23-10 this season. They've won 4 in a row, including their wins in the first and second round of the NEC tournament. But the championship game tonight against their bitter rival, and the shot clock with Chappelle way off the mark at 6. Here comes Good in transition. What makes Good so effective?
Well, he's very good off the dribble. He's also improved his three-point shooting ability. The book on Jeremy Good was lay off of him, force him to shoot the 3, but he improved his percentage from 29% last year to 39% this year. Jeremy Good can now stretch a defense. #1 in blue for Mount St. Mary's.
A rejection. Dallas Green throws it out of bounds. 7 seconds on the shot clock for Mount St. Mary's. And a 5 to shoot. Not sure if Beidler realizes it. Lost the ball. And then a foul call. So Kelly Beidler picks up the first foul of the game, and he is a crucial two-way player for Mount St. Mary's. Has unusual length for his position in this conference.
Well, Milan Brown talked about him being an X factor, that he really need a double-double out of Kelly Beidler here tonight.
Francisco off the mark. Good, tries to go coast to coast. Beidler, travel. Underway here in the Northeast Conference Championship game. Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris, the 1 seed against the 2 seed. A little turnaround jumper inside by Rob Robinson. The first points of the game scored by a power forward that averages about 11 a game.
Rob Robinson, when he attacks, goes straight up and attacks the basket. Very effective down low.
How about the steal by Good after the turnover? And Beidler in the open floor, and we're tied.
Jeremy Good reads eyes and anticipates well. He's not just the offensive leader of this team, but defensively he can wreak havoc as well with his vision defensively.
The jump hook in the lane, short from Robinson.
I like the look inside though by Robert Morris, getting Robinson a lot of quality touches early in the paint.
A deep 3 from the wing, way off the mark for Good. Aboushuz and Mark Adams at the Sewell Center here on the campus of Robert Morris. There is not a seat empty for the Northeast Conference Championship game. A rejection inside by Sam Atupam.
With both these teams, the interior defense has been excellent. Good help side position. You'd expect nothing less from both of these defensive-minded coaches, Milan Brown for Mount St. Mary's and Mike Rice for Robert Morris.
Good, nice lead. And the lay-in by Marcus Mitchell.
If Jeremy Good is able to get to the basket, that time drawing a defender. I like the way Jeremy Good has come out attacking the basket early for Mount St. Mary's.
In and out for Jeremy Chappelle. And the hit ahead. Here's Good. Good start for Mount St. Mary's, the 2 seed. An unusual factor in this series as well, Mark. The last 3 seasons, the winner of the regular season series has won in a sweep. But then the winner of the season series sweep has lost to the other in the conference tournament 3 years in a row.
It's an amazing rivalry in these two teams. They have long memories of those last 3 seasons.
Robinson can't hit. Offensive rebound. And a foul call. The Northeast Conference Championship game underway. The 1 seed and the 2 seed. The bitter rivalry in this conference. The winner goes to the tournament. It's Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Aboushuz and Mark Adams at the Northeast Conference Championship game here at the Sewell Center. The number 1 seed Robert Morris is the host team. A terrific matchup between the 1 seed and the 2 seed as we take a look at the Papa John's starting lineups. First of all, for Mount St. Mary's. And they have a heck of a backcourt with Jeremy Good alongside Gene Kaju.
Yeah, dynamic duo, not unlike Marquette when you look at Jarrell McNeil and Dominique James. 2 similar types of players as those 2 guys, if you want to compare them.
And Robert Morris is the Northeast Conference Player of the Year, and Jeremy Chappelle in the backcourt, and Rob Robinson in the frontcourt.
Rob Robinson, a guy that when he's in attack mode, he can shape up down low and really change the game. So far has scored early, and that's been a good situation for Robert Morris to get the ball inside.
Dallas Green at the free throw line. This season, he was a starter for 20 games, and in the 20 games Dallas Green was a starter, Robert Morris went 17-3. He sat out the first 8 games because of academics, but once he got that house in order, he became a very valuable front court member for Robert Morris, only 1 of 2 at the line. Sean Atupum gets shut down in the lane and turns it over. Sean just came on replacing big brother Sam.
Well, you saw Rob Robinson's ability to defend down in the post. Very physical. So far, the big guys for Robert Morris have been a little bit more physical, a little bit more active against this Mount St. Mary's team.
Gary Wallace knocks down his first attempt.
Not a guy that scores a lot of points, but just kind of one of those X-factor games. You know Chappelle's going to get you some.
Gene Kaju gets you 3 right there for Mount St. Mary's.
Between Jeremy Good and Gene Kaju, both can stretch the defense. Look for the defense for Robert Morris to stretch, and then Mount St. Mary's going to start dribble penetration into gaps.
Nwigwe into the post. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Nwigwe gets it back. Flips it up on the baseline. Can't hit it. And the rebound underneath. Ends up with Jeremy Good. Or check that, Kaju. Conley tries a 3. Off the mark. Jeremy Chappelle averages a little over 6 rebounds a game. On the offensive glass, Robert Morris. With Nwigwe scoring.
I like the pace. Both teams really looking to attack in the 94-foot situation. Defensive transition, a critical element tonight. You got to get back and stop that initial thrust.
Jump hook blocked by Robinson. Stop the post move of Marcus Mitchell.
The big guys for Robert Morris are dominating right now.
From the corner, a little too strong for Chappelle. Again on the offensive glass, though. Robert Morris going to work. Rob Robinson.
Well, Rob Robinson has been the difference for Robert Morris. He's been so active offensively on the offensive glass, down the block. So far, advantage on the perimeter to Mount St. Mary's, advantage inside to Robert Morris.
The big man Dallas Green caught in a switch. Let's see if they are able to exploit it. Sean Atupum in the post with a guard on his hip, and Chappelle. He spins 3 and the post move is good. Good job by Mount St. Mary's to recognize the mismatch.
Sean Atupum was able to have Jeremy Chappelle down low, and they recognized the mismatch and kept working that right-hand side. It got it down to Atupum.
A quick timeout with 12:48 to go in the first half of the Northeast Conference Championship game. The 2 seed leads the 1 seed by a bucket. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, the Northeast Conference Championship game. Robert Morris is the 1 seed, but it's a program that's been dealing with some controversy. You're looking at backup guard Mezier Nwigwe. Now, he was involved in an altercation outside a convenience store late Friday night, early Saturday morning, about 1:30 in the morning. He was actually charged with simple assault. According to the police, he'll just be mailed a summons. It's a misdemeanor. But Nwigwe was there after midnight with 3 other players. Jeremy Chappelle, Rob Johnson, and Velton Jones were also present. No players suspended for tonight's game, but here's what Craig Coleman, the Robert Morris AD, had to say. The university takes very seriously the conduct of its basketball players, both on and off the court. Mezier is a student in good standing. He has no record of student misconduct. The investigation into the incident will continue. He'll be permitted to participate in campus activities. Basically, it's a long-winded way of saying he's a good kid, innocent until proven guilty. And based on the facts off the record that have been coming into Robert Morris, they don't think that this is a very significant off-the-court incident. Having said that, though, Mark Adams, you're a former coach. It's still a distraction to have 4 players out well after midnight, about 36 hours before they play a semifinal game in their conference tournament. They're the 1 seed. What do you do if you're the coach dealing with this controversy at this point?
Well, certainly it's a distraction, and I think that Mike Rice today told us that there would be discipline that would be handled internally, and I think that's appropriate for the head coach to deal with this issue. Now, should there have been a suspension? Well, you're innocent until proven guilty, and so far, from all the things we've heard and all the things that have been done within the program, I think that Mike Rice has handled this in the appropriate way, and the university as well with their policy.
We'll talk a little bit more about what Mike Rice told us earlier today in terms of his standpoint, how he's handling the controversy when we come back.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's. And in part by the most critically acclaimed Volkswagen ever, the all-new CC.
A colonial dance very friendly with the ground the new passive house from RMU. It's colonial day. Where the Robert Morris colors are shown green card. Where 10% discount on your food purchase. That's colonial day every Friday at the downtown. The 2009 NEC basketball tournament is presented by Insurance. Get some auto insurance savings today. Insurance.com.
Okay. Is this the only? Let me turn that. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hear each Robert Morris game at sports.yahoo.com.
Northeast Conference Championship game, part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Mike Rice, the head coach of Robert Morris, dealing with, as we said a moment ago, a bit of a controversy this week, as two-guard Nezier Nwigwe was involved in an altercation outside a convenience store. He'll be mailed a summons for simple assault, a misdemeanor. Not a big deal. But talking to Mike Rice earlier today, he said, look, you can certainly classify this as a distraction. But Mark Adams, what he said, and what he told his team, which I thought was poignant, was, said, I told my players, narrow your focus as a team. You can only control the things, how you react to things that happen to you. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can certainly always control your reaction. And I think that's what he's looking for out of his team tonight.
Well, and also I think that there's also university policy in place that, Bob, a lot of fans don't understand that when something happens off the court, there's policy already in place. Sometimes that ties the coach's hands as to what you can or cannot do. But I think Mike has handled it absolutely the right way.
Offensive foul call. Iffy Iram, who just came on, sets the moving screen.
As you watch these two programs go into their practice and their preparation, Milan Brown and Mike Rice, while they certainly have healthy respect for each other's abilities and for their team's abilities, you can tell there's a little bit of a short fuse among players, coaches, everything. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be some fireworks before this game's all over with. It's probably going to come down to a last-second shot. It's out of the last 12 meetings, this game's been decided by 5 points or less, 7 of them.
Feidler in the post, can't hit. Strong rebound underneath for Robinson. Chappelle's entry pass stolen, right back to Chappelle though. Hurst on the baseline. Nice block by Will Holland. A tie-up. And the possession arrow keeps it with Robert Morris. Championship week continues on ESPN Thursday night. The quarterfinal round of the Big East Championship, first at 7 Eastern. Number 2 Pitt will take on either West Virginia or Notre Dame. Then at 9 Eastern, we'll see UConn in action against Syracuse or Seton Hall. The Big East Championship, part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPN tomorrow night.
Now, probably Notre Dame's last opportunity to make the NCAA tournament. They've got to make a serious and deep run in the Big East tournament. West Virginia up next.
Shot clock down to 3. Does Robinson realize it? Shot clock at 1. Just gets it off.
Both these teams have been man-to-man from the opening tip.
Robinson called for the foul.
Well, Mount St. Mary's opened this season 3-8. Now they played Virginia Tech tough, lost by 5. They had actually a lead in the last 5 minutes of that game. Lost coming down the stretch. Penn State lost by 5. Georgetown lost by 11. So Mount St. Mary's was very, very competitive in a very difficult early season. They started at 3-8, won 16 of the last 20 games. I think that non-conference schedule has helped toughen this team up for the tough Northeast Conference.
Now the Mount turns it over. Just past the midway point of the first half. Sean Atupum called for the foul. Each team with 3 team fouls just past the midway point of the first half.
And Jeremy Chappelle, number 21 in white, has been noticeably quiet here in the first half. He's their leading scorer, leading steal man, leading assist man, leading rebounder.
Now he launches, in and out.
Gene Kajou is just all over Jeremy Chappelle.
Malone Brown said earlier today that he thinks Kajou, if he's not the best defender in the Northeast Conference, is the second best to Pateco Francisco, who's the defensive player of the year in the conference.
You've arguably got the 2 best offensive players on the floor in Chappelle and Good, and the 2 best defensive players on the floor in Kajou and Francisco. I mean, these 2 teams got here for a reason. So look at Jeremy Chappelle, the first player in NEC history with 1,500 points, 500 rebounds, 250 steals, 250 assists. What a tremendous career by that young man. And oh, by the way, 200 threes as well.
Well, he and Jimmy Langhurst are money from 3 as Good comes back on. Chappelle and Langhurst have 143 combined threes this season. It's the most ever by a pair in Robert Morris history. So that's a lot to worry about on the perimeter, which might explain why Rob Robinson has had such a great year on the interior.
Can't double down on him. He's always in a one-on-one situation. Nice call, Pards. Showing the X's and O's there.
I'm learning.
There you go.
Nice drive as Pierre Brown goes right down the middle.
You know, Pierre Brown's one of those guys, when I walk into practice, I start looking at bodies, types, and guys that can play. I think he's got a tremendous, bright future. Only a sophomore, Pierre Brown.
Robinson, jump hook won't go. How about the follow though inside by Pateco Francisco?
Well, he is just a tough little kid. He's not afraid to get in there among the big guys. He'll take an elbow in the face if he has to. Pateco Francisco.
Now he's called for the foul though. What a story he is as well. Born in Angola, and we'll get back to him in a moment.
Take a look at Pierre Brown now. This is a sophomore kid. He's got a good body, good first step to the basket. I think he's got tremendous upside for Malone Brown at Mount St. Mary's.
So Francisco, born in Angola, kind of a war-torn situation, moves to Zaire with his family. His father then leaves for France, tries to bring the family there, and does when Francisco was 8 years old. So basically he grew up in Paris. But when they first arrived, his father had no job. And they basically were homeless for the first couple of weeks before government assistance allowed them to at least find a place to live. He ends up coming to the United States to pursue a basketball and education situation. He originally signed with St. Mary's out in California, but then they signed Patty Mills. He felt like he didn't have a job, and so ends up at Robert Morris.
And the amazing thing about Francisco is when I talked to him about him being homeless basically for several weeks on the streets of Paris, I said, that must have been tough. He said, yeah, it was. I said, so tonight can't be that tough. He says, no, sir, it's not. I mean, he's a tough little kid, been through a lot in his life, But boy, you talk about a first-class young man.
That jumper won't go for Dallas Green. Strong rebound underneath by Gene Kaju.
Mount St. Mary's defense has locked up the Robert Morris offense, mainly because Jeremy Chappelle has not been able to get off for Robert Morris.
Kaju for three. Good rebound by Robinson. Robinson, a little floater. Nice soft touch.
A good decision, took a good shot and made it into a better shot with that one dribble.
Good, has it stripped away at the other end by Nwigwe with 7 minutes to go here in the first half. A 2-point game, the winner goes to the tournament in the Northeast Conference Championship game.
Rob Robinson showing a little bit of ability inside, off the rim and down through the net.
We absolutely want Bob.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear our fantastic ladies, the Robert Morris University cheerleaders. The Crown Plaza Hotel, Pittsburgh International Airport, an official corporate partner of Colonial Athletics, to reach the Crown Plaza, simply call 412-262-2400. Robert Morris students are reminded that Friday is a free college skate nights at the RMU Sports Center. Just so you know, they skate for free from 7 to 11 p.m. every Friday. Skate runners free too. Just show your freedom pride.
All right, Ryan, Doug, thanks very much. Oklahoma State taking care of Iowa State, the Northeast Conference Championship game. Mount St. Mary's, the 2 seed, against Robert Morris, the 1 seed. And Mark Adams would take a look at Mount St. Mary's as a school. A very small enrollment, one of the smallest in America. And boy, what a great year it would be to cap their 100th season of basketball if they can win a conference title.
And a beautiful campus. I've been there before. I've coached on that campus against Jim Phelan, of course, the legendary coach there for many years. Great academics and great fit. Milan Brown was brought back to the program to take over for Jim Phelan. I think he's performed pretty doggone well. Robert Morris showing a little bit of this matchup zone now. And now they match up back into man-to-man.
Shot clock down to 11. Good needs to go to work. Shot clock at 8. He has that kind of range. He could launch it from right there. Lost the dribble. Shot clock at 2. Now he has to put it up. And it's off the mark. That's a shot clock violation.
Well, that's how you win the Northeast Conference regular season, with defense just like that. Jeremy Good not able to get any kind of a look off that pressure man-to-man defense by Robert Morris. Of course, Mike Rice, the former assistant coach, to Jamie Dixon at Pitt. You see a lot of similarities defensively, Robert Morris and Pitt.
Well, these two teams are basically 1-2 in this conference defensively. Mount St. Mary's number 1 in scoring defense and defensive field goal percentage. A jumper from the corner goes down for Gary Wallace. Robert Morris is number 2 in both of those categories. So a low-scoring first half shouldn't be a shock.
No, both these teams also very good in defensive transition. Not a lot of easy baskets.
Good, misses a wide open look, and way up in the air for the rebound was Josiah Whitehead. Then he turns it over. Good, takes it away, saves it to Beidler. Taken back though. Nwigwe. We'll pull it back up top.
Smart play by Nwigwe. Bring the ball back out.
From the corner, Chappelle. In and out.
Gene Kaju just all over Jeremy Chappelle.
Nice leave. A Tupum can't hit, but a foul call. A little bit of a late whistle, but I think it was a good call. Nwigwe is called for the personal, and championship week continues on ESPN Thursday afternoon. Quarterfinal action in the Big East Championship. Providence moves on to take on number 5 Louisville. That's at noon Eastern. And then Villanova and Marquette, number 13 against number 21. A big game in the Big East Conference Tournament. The Big East Championship, part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPN tomorrow afternoon.
Villanova working for a 3 seed right now. They're going to have to play very well in the Big East Tournament. I think the key for Villanova has been Dante Cunningham and the type of job that he's done for Jay Wright and Villanova.
Francisco. This is Chappelle.
Shauna Tupum, only a 57% free throw shooter, and it shows right there.
Just nothing easy. A lot of help from the blue jerseys. Everybody's active defensively.
Now an offensive foul call. Josiah Whitehead will be called as he stepped out. That'll be foul number 5 on Robert Morris here in the first half. Well, talking about Providence, let's take a look at the DiGiorno tournament resume for a team that could not be more on the bubble. How badly do they need to win tomorrow in upset fashion?
They need a huge win right now. Schedule strength 49, RPI 72. Key wins against Rhode Island, Cincinnati, Syracuse, and that big win against Pitt right there is their signature victory. But then the losses to Northeastern and Baylor, 2-7 versus the top 100. So Providence still has a lot of work to do, but the good news is you're in the Big East tournament where you have the opportunity to get another signature victory. And they match up well with Villanova. That's going to be a heck of a game.
Fade away, in and out for Will Holland. Wallace tries another. Jeremy Good behind the back. Francisco was there to break it up. Numbers for Robert Morris. Robinson, no call. The follow won't go for Dallas Green. Green keeps it alive.
It's like volleyball.
And now another foul will be called. This time it will go against Robert Morris. Nwigwe with the offensive foul. 3:52 to go. In an intense first half. You can tell a tournament fits on the line between Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris. All right, Ryan, thanks very much. Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. The Northeast Conference Championship game with 3:52 to go in the first half. Mount St. Mary's the number 2 seed, Robert Morris the number 1 seed, tied at 15. And Robert Morris with an enrollment of about 5,000. They have not been to the tournament since 1992. Mike Rice's team last year got to the Northeast Conference Championship game, lost to Mount St. Mary's, so they get a rematch this season. Swept them this season during the regular season, Mark, as they did last year. But earlier today at the shoot-around, I think the message from Mike Rice to his team was, forget about the regular season. There's still payback on our minds from last year's championship game.
Right, talk about how Robert Morris had the opportunity to play in a championship game tonight. As you take a look at Shauna Tupum taking it off the glass. But the cherry on top was they get an opportunity to win the championship against Mount St. Mary's. So you can pretty much tell these two teams really want to beat each other very, very badly.
Chappelle can't hit, but he'll go to the free throw line. He is still without a field goal, looking for his first points of the game.
Shauna Tupum's been able to take advantage inside, use his backside very well, goes up strong. I think for Mount St. Mary's to be successful, they've got to have guys like a Tupum that can go down low and score to do some inside-out offense and get a better look from the three-point line. Both teams right now combined 1 for 13 from the three-point line.
Jeremy Chappelle at the line, 98 career double-figure games. He is Robert Morris's all-time leader in double-figure scoring games, but you can see against Mount St. Mary's, he has his struggles. The last time these two teams met, in the last game of the regular season, he scored only 8, and these are his first 2 points of the night. He missed his first 5 shots from the field, doesn't have a field goal yet.
And Bob, the reason for his lack of production, Gene Kaju. That kid can guard you. Well, they're really looking for a Tupum versus Chappelle down the low block. There it is.
Good defense by Robert Morris, and a foul call. Shauna Tupum called for the foul off this scramble.
Mount St. Mary's really trying to get after that matchup of Chappelle versus a Tupum down low. That time, a Tupum loses the battle, going after the loose ball. Good defense there by Robert Morris.
So Tupum has to sit down with his second personal foul. He's the player that Milan Brown described as the best low post scorer that Mount St. Mary's has. Now an offensive foul is called against Robert Morris. I think they got Chappelle for leaning out on a screen.
Well, Mike Rice doesn't like that call at all. But it was a little dribble handoff, and you can't dribble handoff and move into the defensive player. Watch Chappelle here. He catches the ball. Now watch dribble handoff right there as he moves into the defensive player. That's an illegal screen. You can't do that even when you're handing off.
Chappelle's first foul, 8th on the team, so it'll be free throws the rest of the way for Mount St. Mary's here in the first half.
Big mismatch. Mitchell down low against Langhurst. They got to get it inside to him. That's a 8-inch mismatch. They miss it.
He comes out and sets the screen as Kaju ends up firing away. As he came out and set the screen, that allowed Robert Morris to switch back defensively.
He should have stayed on the block and worked that angle until he got the basketball.
Way short on the jumper is Robinson. That allows Green, though, to save it, but he stepped on the end line. I'm not sure you should have been allowed to save that shot. Championship Week continues on ESPN Thursday night. Was that not nice?
No, that wasn't very nice, Bob.
Yeah, quarterfinal round action in the Big East Championship. At 7 Eastern, number 2 Pitt takes on the Mountaineers. And then at 9 Eastern, it'll be UConn taking on either Syracuse or Seton Hall. The winner of that game takes on the Huskies. The Big East Championship, part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPN tomorrow night. Traveling called on good. So the Mount turns it over. 17-17. Now these are two teams that both average, if not 70 or more, right around 70 a game.
Well, it's just been quality defense the entire time. The reaction of the defense, stepping in, you're just surrounded by white jerseys. A lot of good help side positioning by Robert Morris has made them very effective defensively throughout this season, and in particular here in the first half. But Bob, no way I could anticipate a 17-17 first half score. Both great defensive teams, but you would expect the offense to blossom a little more here in the second half.
Robinson Puts that one up and misses badly. Beidler the rebound. Robert Morris, second best in the Northeast Conference at a little over 71 points a game. St. Mary's fourth best at just a hair under 69 a game. And right now we're on about, what would you say, a 38-36 pace?
Yeah.
Timeout charged to Mount St. Mary's.
Mount St. Mary's calls timeout.
30-second timeout.
Well, and both these coaches using this last 2 minutes of the first half like a late game situation. Usually Milan Brown offensively in this situation look for Jeremy Good to get touches with dribble penetration from the top. And Mike Rice, one of the most intense guys you're ever going to find, whether it be the practice court or the game court.
Let's take a look at our Subway Fresh Take. Mount St. Mary's trying to become a team that sets a little bit of history in the Northeast Conference. The Mount's attempting to become the first repeat NEC champion since Ryder back in 1993 and 94. And of course, Ryder isn't in this conference any longer.
Kevin Bannon was the coach back then for Ryder. And when you look at Jim Phelan's long, legendary, historic career and what Milan Brown has done coming back to the Mount, taking over for Jim, I mean, this program has really blossomed in such a positive way. Of course, Jim Phelan led them from Division II to Division I, did a great job of it. Now Milan Brown turning this into a championship program at the Division I level.
Another timeout was just called by Mount St. Mary's, and now the officials are going to get together. I'm not sure, was the ball not officially inbounded when they tried to call another timeout? You can't call back-to-back timeouts if the ball was not inbounded, and I think that's what Mike Rice is saying. They called another timeout before the ball was actually whistled into play, which would be a violation.
Mike Rice, he's right there near the officials, way out on the court.
Now Milan Brown is going to be called over to the scorer's table as well. I think Mike Rice is going to join the discussion.
Become a fan and you'll be all set.
Now both teams have been informed, but typically, Bob.
Let's go back and take a look as the teams come out of the huddle.
You could not call back-to-back timeouts.
You know what the problem
men on the
was?
court. That's what it was.
When they broke the huddle, they had 6 players on the court. And I think they tried to call another timeout from the bench to correct the problem of having 6 players on the court and take care of the issue before anyone realized it, except Mike Rice was counting and counting correctly.
And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 blue jerseys right there.
There might be another in the corner off to the right.
There must be another in the corner. And that's when Milan Brown realized, tried to call a tie. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My parochial education comes through, and that is a technical foul.
And Jimmy Langhurst hits the first free throw, which I think he gets 2 free throws here. Right? Can you help me count?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. Very good, Bob.
Ah, excellent.
Mr. Boston College graduate.
Working with you is really starting to rub off on me. You can count to 6. I was able to count all the way to 2.
There you go.
The problem for Mount St. Mary's was Mike Rice was able to count to 6 also.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And as soon as the timeout was called, I thought the reason he was protesting was they called another timeout as quickly as they did. He was actually protesting the 6 players on the court. Mount St. Mary's was trying to call the timeout to get them back on the bench to correct the error before anyone noticed. A launch with 4 on the shot clock for good won't go.
Well, in a game like this, 2 free throws for a mental mistake of 6 players on the floor. Those are 2 huge points. Remember those as we come down the stretch in the second half.
Wallace's layup won't go. The rebound tapped around, and here comes Good. Numbers for Mount St. Mary's. Kaju can't get it to go. 20 seconds to go in the first half. Shauna Tupum will come back on as Pierre Brown will sit down. But Tupum has a couple of fouls.
think Mount St. Mary's really has to be more in attack mode off the dribble penetration into the paint. I think they've been a little bit soft off the dribble. They've got to make this Robert Morris defense react off the dribble. Let's see what Good does right here.
The jumper goes down for Marcus Mitchell. That long shot, good if it goes. Wallace comes up short. That ends the first half, and a very low-scoring first half in the Northeast Conference Championship game. And the reason? Well, your Star Watch player, Jeremy Chappelle, averages about 17 a game. He did not have a first-half field goal. 19-19 tie between Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris. A trip to the tournament on the line. It's time now for the Cisco halftime report. Ryan Burr and Doug Gottlieb. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Just about set for the start of the second half of the Northeast Conference Championship game. Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris tied at 19. This is one of those games, Bob Wischusen and Mark Adams here with you, where if it was football and you're a defensive coordinator, you're doing backflips. The offensive coordinators are pulling their hair out. What happened in the first half that allowed the defenses of these two teams to be so successful?
Well, I think offensively both teams were rocked back a little bit on their heels. I think in the second half, Bob, they've got to be a lot more aggressive. Jeremy Good and Gene Kaju in particular for Mount St. Mary's, they got to penetrate and get in the gaps. And I think Jeremy Chappelle also has to act like the player of the year in the Northeast Conference and be a lot more aggressive off the dribble and looking for his shot here in the second half for Robert Morris.
Well, as we take a look at the first half numbers, if you're looking for pretty offensive numbers, you won't find them, as the two teams combined for 16 of 53 from the field and 1 for 14 from three-point land.
Well, a lot of that because it's not coming off of inside-out basketball. They're shooting contested threes. So how do you remedy that? Get the ball down the block through the pass, or get dribble penetration routes into the paint to pass the ball out to the perimeter for open three-point shots. Our
first half statistics brought to you by Guinness. And there is a young man that needs to get on track for his team to be successful. Jeremy Chappelle, the Northeast Conference Player of the Year, normally averages 17 points a game. In the first half, he had 2 points, and they both came at the free throw line. He was 0 for 5 from the field. The winner goes to the tournament. Mount St. Mary's looking for their second consecutive Northeast Conference title and their second consecutive win in this game over Robert Morris. Robert Morris, the 1 seed, trying to get to the tournament and avenge last year's loss.
Well, of course, Mount St. Mary's knocked off Robert Morris last year in the semifinals of the Northeast Conference Championship Tournament. And they beat Sacred Heart in the championship game on the road, and here they are on the road again, but this time against their nemesis Robert Morris, who swept them in the regular season.
Chappelle just can't get on track. This time he walks.
Well, Mike Rice obviously has challenged Jeremy Chappelle to put the ball on the floor, to get the ball to the basket, to be more aggressive, but he walks the very first possession to open the second half.
Kaju goes to his offhand, can't connect, but then on the offensive glass, Beidler and Marcus Mitchell were both there, and they'll give the bucket to Mitchell.
Very interesting how Gene Kaju posting up down low against Jimmy Langhurst. 2 guards going down low on the block.
A jumper from the corner goes for Francisco. And now beating everyone up the floor is Marcus Mitchell.
That's the first transition basket out of a make of the game. That's how stingy the transition defense has been. Mount St. Mary's gets a little blood offensively there, 94 feet.
Boy, did Mike Rice give Dallas Green the stink eye as they were heading back up the floor. The jump hook way off the mark for Rob Robinson.
Mount St. Mary's really looking for the high-low and in the paint.
The Jew can't get it to go. And the rebound to Robinson. Chappelle drives it and gets his first field goal. Good, tries to answer quickly. The alley-oop is put down by Beidler. What a play in transition by the Mount.
Mike Rice doesn't like the defensive transition now. 2 of the last 3 possessions, Mount St. Mary's with layups, from the big guys at 94 feet.
Chappelle hits a three. Look out.
He came out attacking the basket off the dribble. Now he's stealing it from three-point land. It's a layup drill.
The lead goes right back to Mount St. Mary's as Jeremy Good is able to lay it in. That's 3 transition baskets. The last 3 trips down for Mount St. Mary's, all 3 off-made baskets at the other end for Robert Morris.
I feel like we're watching VMI all of a sudden, who led the country in scoring this year. Totally different teams to open the second half.
Chappelle in the corner. Oh, thought about a quick trigger. And the steal. Good hands by Mitchell underneath to poke it outside the Kaju. Idler can't knock the 3 down.
Well, both teams very much more in attack mode. Both Mike Rice, Milan Brown have challenged their team to attack the basket. Jeremy.
Chappelle hits another 3. No field goals in the first half for Jeremy Chappelle. He's hit 3 big shots here in the second half. And now a mental mistake by Mount St. Mary's.
And Jeremy Chappelle has been the difference maker. He's the Northeast Conference Player of the Year. He has gone off here in the second half from three-point land, knocks it down from deep. Jeremy Chappelle showing why his coach believes he is the best player in the Northeast Conference, and he was voted as such.
And it goes right back to Robert Morris. A turnover on the inbound from Mount St. Mary's. Nice steal by Bodler. Used his length to get his hand in the passing lane, and he tries to go coast to coast and draws the foul. Jeremy Chappelle called for the foul, but at the offensive end, he's been the story in the first 4 minutes for Robert Morris.
The Northeast Conference Player of the Year taking it off the dribble. He's in attack mode to come out of the half. From downtown, Jeremy Chappelle. We got a basketball game in Pittsburgh. Number 1 versus number 2. Robert Morris and St. Mary's. Morris by 2.
Yeah, I mean, the game definitely gets better if they heat up a little bit more offensively. That was the best flow we've had for 4 minutes so far.
That's Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yep, it could. It could. Okay. Okay.
They're just across the street from the entrance to Robert Morris University in Moon Plaza. It's the place to be after RMU basketball home games. That's the ground round in the Moon Plaza.
Okay.
Fans and friends of Robert Morris University can become members of the Colonial Athletic Club and take part in the halftime reception in the Soul Center.
Sure. No problem. Thank you. Got it. Yeah, Louisville, Providence, Villanova, Marquette. All right, if Jeremy Chappelle keeps shooting the way he has shot for the past 4 minutes, it might be an instant classic performance by the Northeast Conference Player of the Year. Championship week will continue on ESPN tomorrow afternoon. A quarterfinal in the Big East. First at noon Eastern, Louisville, 5th in the nation, takes on Providence. And then at 2 Eastern, number 13 Villanova and number 21 Marquette. The Big East Championship, part of Championship Week. presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPN. That's tomorrow afternoon. Just before we went to break, Jeremy Chappelle picked up his second personal foul that puts Beidler at the line. But it's offensively where he has been the story in the first 4 minutes of the second half. 3 for 3 after missing all 5 of his first half shots. And now he's the first player in the game for either team in double figures, up to 10 points. And now Beidler joins him with 10 for Mount St. Mary's.
Bob, we talked about Jeremy Chappelle has to play like the Northeast Conference Player of the Year. In the second half, he's so much better when he just plays and attacks. And he's doing that off the dribble. Now it's opened up his 3-ball game as well.
Pateco Francisco is fouled by Beidler. That's Beidler's second. First foul on the mount here in the second half. Nwigwe will come back on, replacing Pateco Francisco. Ife Iram will sit down as well.
Well, if you're Robert Morris, you just got to think that Jeremy Chappelle has to get touch after touch after touch. When your best player is hot, get him touches, manufacture opportunities.
And now a turnover as Nwigwe dribbled it off his knee. Pled his case. And I don't think John Hughes wanted to listen to much testimony there.
Not buying any of it.
No, he overturned or overruled any objection pretty quickly. Nine turnovers now for Robert Morris. Atupum, the jump up goes for Sean Atupum.
I like that look inside to Sean Atupum. Very athletic, can jump over defenders.
Nwigwe double teamed at midcourt. Sean Atupum called for the foul. Now again, he is the best low post scorer for Mount St. Mary's according to Milan Brown, but he might have to sit down. That's his third personal foul.
And Sean Atupum has gone to work down on the offensive end. No double down. When you've got shooters like Gene Kaju and Jeremy Good, you can't double down. So Sean Atupum becomes a one-on-one guy. He's got good extension, he's got good length, good quickness down low. He'll take a blow.
He's the first player for either team to get his third personal foul. So Sean out, Sam in. His older brother Sam Atupum, a senior, comes on in his place. 5 minutes gone by in the second half. Wallace, tough shot. Marcus Mitchell's been active inside. And he had the rebound.
Mount St. Mary's, a lot of their offense has gone east and west. They've got to go north and south. They've got to get into gaps and attack the basket, just like that.
Good drives it, tough pass and a bad one. Threw it right at the feet of Sam Atupum.
But did two things wrong. Left his feet A, and then bounced it around the shoelaces of a 6'8" guy. That's a turnover waiting to happen.
Bell with the jump stop, fades away. Can't get it to go. Here comes Beidler.
Credit to Robert Morris' defense, but notice how often the ball doesn't penetrate into the paint. Fadeaways, ball goes side to side. Mount St. Mary's is so much better. I've seen this team many times. When they attack the basket, they're so much better offensively.
Jeremy Good struggled just about as much as Chappelle has. He's now 2 of 6 from the field. He only has 4 points. Shot clock at 10. Wallace. Offensive foul.
When Sam Atupum steps in and takes that charge, not a surprise at all. The Atupum brothers combined for 29 charges taken on the season. It's hard to find 2 brothers that are better than doing that one thing, taking the charge for Mount St. Mary's.
So Wallace sits down. Jeremy Chappelle, part of the group that just went to the bench, along with Whitehead, for Robert Morris. Pateco Francisco. Dallas Green back on. In the post, Sam Atupum. And a foul on the floor call against Rob Robinson. That's his second.
Rob Robinson wrapped his right arm around Sam Atupam.
Jeremy Good back on the bench for Mount St. Mary's as Will Holland is in. So Kaju is the main backcourt scorer for the Mount. He has the basketball. Fades away. Tough shot, partially blocked. Loose in the lane. Coming up short, Sam Atupam, and then a foul called on Mount St. Mary's. Boy, it is a war underneath. That foul called on Marcus Mitchell. That's Mount St. Mary's fourth team foul.
The last three shots for Mount St. Mary's have been fadeaways. There's one, and now on the offensive glass, fading away as well. That is not the Mount St. Mary's recipe for offensive success.
Langhurst tries a three. No good. Offensive rebound way in the air. Went Nwigwe. Francisco gets to the baseline. Tried to slip one through. Scramble on the floor. Still loose. Possession arrow belongs to Mount St. Mary's. And we'll have a timeout on the floor. The Mount with a 2-point lead over the 1 seed, Robert Morris. And in case you're wondering, who is this man that this university was named after? Everything you ever wanted to know about Robert Morris, but were afraid to ask. I can see Mark Adams.
I can't wait.
Oh, he's very curious. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. And there's a man that knew a way to get on television. Shameless self-promotion. Robert Morris. We told you. Want to know who he was? Well, this is who the school is named after. An interesting fact about Robert Morris, one of only 2 people to sign the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, and the U.S. Constitution. The key founder of the U.S. financial system. Must be rolling over in his grave over the past couple of years. One of Pennsylvania's original senators. And if we look at his picture, also shares roughly the same body type as tonight's play-by-play man, Bob Wischusen.
And did you know he also shares, similar to your 401k,
Yeah.
he lost his entire fortune in land speculation and then died completely broke at the age of 74.
Oh.
Apparently he had the same investment strategy that you and I have right
Yes, well, since he and I share the same physique, that really bodes well. Hopefully our careers will continue to mirror one another. Foul on the interior. A reach-in called on Marcus Mitchell. That's Mitchell's third. So now Mitchell has 3. Sean Atupam is on the bench with 3 for Mount St. Mary's. No player for Robert Morris has more than 2. Fourth team foul on Mount St. Mary's here in the second half. The Mount is the 2 seed. Robert Morris is the 1 seed. And these really are the 2 bitter rivals in the Northeast Conference. The winner goes to the NCAA tournament off the championship game.
Well, now number 5 in blue, Pierre Brown, the sophomore, matched up right there with Jeremy Chappelle. Can't handle him off the dribble.
Held him on the perimeter. A foul on the floor, team foul number 5, so it'll be a side out. But the foul's starting to pile up for the Mount. They only have 1 more foul to give now with 11 and a half minutes to go.
Now Milan Brown opting to go with a bigger, stronger defender in Pierre Brown. Matched up with Jeremy Chappelle. Remember, Gene Kaju has been on him almost the entire night. Kaju now on the bench taking a blow.
A deep 3 won't go for Francisco. The rebound ends up with Chappelle, and he hits the floater. 12 points now for Chappelle.
Chappelle, one of those guys that came to this program really as more of a back-to-the-basket player, but he's added dimensions to his game over his 4-year career. Now scores in a variety of ways, that time on the offensive glass.
He's got 10 points in the first 9 minutes of the second half.
Big mismatch inside. Pateco Francisco matched up down low. Didn't quite recognize it. Marcus Mitchell with the mismatch.
Let's go back to the Chappelle make again.
Jeremy Chappelle comes up with the loose ball, little floater right there. He's just gotten better and better and better every year.
Nearly a 1,900-point scorer. But as a two-guard, I think the most impressive thing came into tonight, 4th in Robert Morris history in rebounding. 669 career rebounds to go along with nearly 1,900 points. You just don't see that out of a guard, that type of consistent rebounding. And as a senior, 6.3 rebounds per game for your two-guard. Would you have taken that at any of your two guards that played for you?
Absolutely, and I take those 250 career assists and 250 career steals and 200 three-pointers as well for Jeremy Chappelle. The only player in NEC history to have those numbers. This conference been around for a while, about 28 years.
The foul, by the way, on Francisco was his second. 4th on Robert Morris in the second half. And the free throws by Atupum break the tie again.
And Chappelle just a lot more bounce. There's one of those assists.
And the block from behind by Mitchell. Mike Rice looking for a foul. Had the foul been called on Mitchell, it would have been his 4th. That's a big non-call.
But Jeremy Chappelle now surveying the defense off the dribble. Defenders starting to pay attention to him. Now Mike Rice has his best player finding open teammates.
Robinson fades away in the lane and hits the little floater. Robinson now has 8 to go along with 8 rebounds. And commits the foul at midcourt. That's the 3rd on Robinson. So does Mike Rice leave his best front court player in the game with 3 fouls midway through the second half, or do you sit him down for a moment?
I'm going with a substitute right here. We take a look inside. Nice job, Rob Robinson, on the out-of-bounds play. Knocking down that little simple shot, screen and roll to the basket.
He gets a hand from Mike Rice, and Mike Rice also was giving him the signal, calm down, it's okay, kind of taking the hands and telling not only Robinson but also his team, you can understand the emotions flowing in a championship game, to relax a little bit. So it's Effie Iram that comes on, replacing Robinson. Here's Sean Atupum back in the game, playing with 3 fouls. He comes up short. Big brother Sam tries to tip it back to him and can't do it. Effie Iram bangs his way to the glass. Offensive rebound by Iram. The putback won't go. He tries again.
Boy, that is a 1-2 thing. Effie Iram off the bench with multiple offensive rebounds and find a stick back just because he stuck to it. Well, the offense going through Sean Atupum every possession. They're looking for him low. There he is down low.
Spins baseline, draws the foul. Josiah Whitehead commits his 3rd foul. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. It's Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris, the 2 seed and the 1 seed at the Sewell Center here at Pittsburgh. I'm Bob Wischusen with Mark Adams. The winner of this game goes to the NCAA tournament. This is a rematch of last year's championship game. Robert Morris had double-figure wins in both the quarters and the semis then against Quinnipiac. It was only a 5-point win in the semifinals for Mount St. Mary's. Baseline jumper is good by Beidler, and we are tied again. The biggest lead of the night was with about 9 minutes into the first half. Mount St. Mary's was up by 6. That's it. It has been under 6 either way the rest of the way. And a turnover. Beidler with the takeaway. And then a take right back by Chappelle. Great hands. The average is 2.5 assists, or rather steals per game, number 1 in the NEC.
Now, for his career, he has over 200. Well, he gets it done offensively, but defensively, very active as well.
Wallace in the lane. Too strong. Beidler the rebound.
Smart play by Jeremy Good. No numbers, pulls it out.
To a Tupum in the post. Uses the window beautifully.
Shauna Tupum makes such a difference with this basketball team. Only a sophomore. He learned his post moves from his older brother, Sam. Looks like it's working out pretty well tonight.
How about Mike Rice calling a timeout? Now, Robert Morris has 4 left, but he was about 2 seconds away from getting to the point where the next whistle would have been a television timeout.
And Shauna Tupum going to work down low. Mount St. Mary's has found an offensive answer with Shauna Tupum.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 NEC basketball tournament presented by Insurance. Next to auto insurance savings at insurance.com.
All right, you mentioned a 5-point lead in the Seton Hall-Syracuse game. That'd be a huge lead in this game, but with 8:02 to go in the second half, Mike Rice just called a timeout. Now that coming at a time where any whistle under 8 minutes will have a TV timeout. Is there a method to the madness there? Why do you think he calls a timeout in that situation?
I think for one, he was really concerned about Shauna Tupum getting so many quality touches and scoring down low. And in such a close game, I don't think he wanted it to go another possession without stopping the mini run by Mount St. Mary's.
Well, there it is. 5 seconds goes by. And we've got immediate timeout with 7:57 to go. A 2-point game in the Northeast Conference Championship game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Every season starts at Dick's.
The kind of games the championship week is really all about. The Northeast Conference Championship game, Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris played all season to get to this position. The 1 seed is Robert Morris. The 2 seed is Mount St. Mary's. The player of the year is Jeremy Chappelle. He really heats up in the second half, but if Mount St. Mary's beats Robert Morris for the 2nd year in a row, they would go back to the tournament with that win. Robert Morris looking for their first tournament appearance since 1992. What a job Mike Rice has done in 2 years here in Pittsburgh. 49 wins in his first 2 seasons.
There's only one other 2-year coach that's active and as young that I can think of that has won more games, and that's, of course, at Butler.
And Brad Stevens done an unbelievable job there. Iffy Iram to the baseline. That shot's blocked by a Tupum. It ends up eventually, though, with Francisco. He had to force one up, though. I think it's a shot clock violation. Well, the shot clock obviously never reset. Francisco didn't get it away in time.
And a great job by the officials, because it doesn't appear there's any horn that goes along with the shot clock, but the out official right away recognized that that's a veteran official on top of the call. The shot clock here. There you see it go to 0 right there. It's an obvious shot clock violation.
It was at 0 for probably about 2 clicks of the game clock. And they may have to put another second or 2 back on the game clock just to square things up, and they will. They'll set the game clock up 3 seconds to 7 minutes and 37 seconds remaining.
This veteran officiating crew's really done a nice job in this game, recognizing the 6 men on the floor in the first half, which was a huge opportunity for Robert Morris to get 2 free throws in the game where there's 2-point separation right now. Boy, Tupum, he likes to turn over that left shoulder. Now he goes back to the baseline.
And the foul call. I think it's Iffy Iram that came over trying to help Jeremy Chappelle. So Iram will be called for the foul. That's his second. And that'll put Shauna Tupum at the line.
He likes to go over the top, but this time drop steps. Good long drop step right there. Might have got away with a little bit of a walk. But if Tupum goes up strong, you know, he learned his post moves from his older brother, Sam. Over the course of time, he's, kind of slight of build. Sam's a bigger, stronger guy. But Shauna Tupum has learned from playing against his own brother as to how to spin in the post, how to turn over the shoulder for the jump hook. Brotherly love has gone a long way towards some pretty good offensive moves down low for Shauna Tupum versus his brother Sam.
Plus, he's also working the kid and play high top fade, which if you're a house party fan, you just have to respect that. The loose ball run down by Bodler, so a chance to extend the possession for Mount St. Mary's.
A Tupum mismatch down low against Langhurst. Still have the mismatch. Boy, you got to get it to him. Just a huge size advantage. There it is. Throw it up. Beautiful.
Nice backdoor look with the left hand. Marcus Mitchell is able to finish. It's a 5-point lead for Mount St. Mary's. They led by 6 midway through the first half.
Mount St. Mary's stayed patient. They recognized the mismatch. And Shauna Tupum with the great pass down low.
Robinson on the baseline draws the foul. That foul on Marcus Mitchell.
Watch Shauna Tupum down low. The mismatch is right here. You got a little defender about 5'10" matched up with Shauna Tupum at 6'6" down low. And all the defenders come to a Tupum. So what do? Marcus Mitchell knifes right to the basket. Perfectly executed, recognizing the mismatch.
Now that last foul on Mitchell was his 4th. So he'll probably have to go to the bench. It looks like Sam Tupum is going to come on and replace him as Rob Robinson makes the free throw. Marcus Mitchell, one of 4 players in Mount St. Mary's history with 400 points, 400 rebounds, 100 assists, 100 steals, and 50 blocks. So very solid across the board numbers. He's now on the bench with 4 fouls.
Well, Marcus Mitchell described as the glue guy. And now he's going to sit here at a very crucial time.
Talk about a glue guy, Rob Robinson. Now in double figures for the 15th time this season. And it's a 3-point game with 6.5 minutes to go.
Look for the offense to continue to go through Shauna Tupum. Now Green is matched up down low for Robert Morris, number 24 in white, versus Shauna Tupum, number 10 in blue.
Foul called. Dallas Green jumps over the top. Championship week continues on ESPN Thursday night. The quarterfinal round of the Big East tournament at Madison Square Garden. First at 7 Eastern. Number 2 Pitt will take on West Virginia, who won earlier this evening. Then at 9 Eastern, number 4 UConn will take on the winner of the Syracuse-Seton Hall game. The Big East Championship, part of Championship Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods on ESPN tomorrow night.
Syracuse up by 4 with 2 minutes left in the first half against Seton Hall. What Jeremy Hazel can get it going quickly for Bobby Gonzalez. Seton Hall playing for an NIT bid. Bobby Gonzalez doesn't try to hide the fact he wants to try to get his team in the NIT with a win over Syracuse. That could deliver them to where they want to go.
Jeremy Chappelle back on for Robert Morris. He replaced Pateco Francisco. 6 minutes to go. Chappelle, nice look to Robinson. Blocked by Tupum, and he took it away. Shot at Tupum with a great defensive play for the Mount.
Well, Shauna Tupum has gone from being this skinny freshman kid that could contribute a little bit a year ago in the championship game to being a dominating force here tonight against Robert Morris in the Northeast Conference Championship game.
Idler for 3. The follow by Sam Tupum inside. And a foul will be called that will send Sam Tupum to the free throw line. Foul called on Gary Wallace. That's his 2nd.
Watch Shauna Tupum react from the backside. There he is up top. He comes all the way from the help side position for the block. Shauna Tupum scoring on the offensive end, intimidating on the defensive end.
Shauna Tupum also a little bit more outgoing than Big Brother Sam, who's got a couple of free throws coming. That was team foul number 9 on Robert Morris. Talking to Milan Brown, he thought that it was really a great thing for Sam that Sean decided to come to Mount St. Mary's and play as well. That just from a personality standpoint, it brought Sam Tupum out of his shell a little bit and made him even more comfortable having his baby brother on the team.
And the brothers, they don't room together at Mount St. Mary's, but they spend all of their time together.
That's a smart move. As
That
someone
is
who's got
a good
I
move.
have a younger brother, that wouldn't have been good.
You only room with them for so long in your house. There's fist fights everywhere.
I lived with him until I think I was about 18. That was about it. I don't think he could have taken any more of it either.
I roomed with both of my brothers, as a matter of fact, for decades, and I still have scars from it.
A turnover. Beidler takes it away. Skips one to Good. Back to Kaju for three. Now the pace starts to pick up as Francisco pushes tempo. Chappelle steps into a three. That hit the backboard first.
When was the last time you saw Robert Morris put the ball on the floor and get into a gap and attack? It was early in the second half. They've gotten away from what got them their early lead to start off the second half.
Kaju from the corner. Off the mark. Sam Atupam blocked underneath by Green. After Sean Atupam kept it alive, it's out of bounds off Mount St. Mary's. As Mezier Nwigwe will come back on, replacing Jeremy Chappelle.
Gene Kaju matched up with Jeremy Chappelle, rides him out away from the basket, constantly in the passing lane, constantly in the dribble lane. Gene Kaju in perfect defensive position against the player of the year in the Northeast Conference.
And Milan Brown talked about his offensive ability as well. But Gene Kaju, it's amazing you would have a player that's that good defensively that would also average about 13 points a game. Usually, doesn't it take a lot out of a defensive player to constantly have to check the best offensive player for the opposition? To be able to do that and also give you double figures every game?
Very, very difficult, but that shows you the type of competitor that Gene Kaju is. Again, I think Jarrell McNeil is a very similar type player, known as a defensive stopper in collegiate basketball, and then all of a sudden blossomed into a tremendous scorer. He's the other guy that can score and defend. Jarrell McNeil from Marquette.
The flyby, Langhurst for three. Knocks it down! Huge shot for the Colonials. And it's a two-point game.
That's a layup for Langhurst. Little head fake. He's got that reputation. Defender bit on the head fake. He was wide open.
Fade away by Good. He hits. Only the third field goal of the night for Jeremy Good. Nwigwe will go to the line when we come back. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. The Northeast Conference Championship is on the line. The winner goes to the tournament. The #1 seed on their home floor, down by 4.
And also, ladies and gentlemen, for your convenience, if you're familiar with the campus while exiting tonight's game, the back gate will be open to make it easier for your exit and your convenience. Once again, the back gate to campus is open this evening.
All right, Terry, thanks very much. Championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. The Northeast Conference Championship game still with a little over 3 minutes to go. A 4-point lead. Who will join Cornell, Radford, East Tennessee State, Moorhead, Northern Iowa, and Chattanooga as teams that already have guaranteed themselves a spot in the NCAA tournament? It'll be either Robert Morris or Mount St. Mary's. And then coming up next, as we said, the Big Sky. Portland State, there's a team no one wants to see in the NCAA tournament. They went to Gonzaga and won this year.
Beat Gonzaga. Ken Bone's done a tremendous job with that program, and Brad Hughes, the new head coach at Montana State over the last couple of years. They went in and beat Weber State, Randy Ray, and Weber State, who was the #1 seed, and the Bobcats #6 seed, now playing for the Big Sky Conference Championship tonight against Portland State. Should be a great matchup.
Mezier Nwigwe knocks down the first free throw, makes it a 3-point game. Harry Wallace comes back on. Nwigwe was involved in some controversy this week, involved in an altercation outside a convenience store very late Friday night, early Saturday morning. Misses the free throw, created a little bit of a distraction for his team. They were counseled by Mike Rice heading up towards the ninth game to try and overcome it. They certainly seem to have done so. A one-possession game with Mount St. Mary's inside of 3 minutes to go. Good in traffic. And the rebound ripped away by Francisco. Francisco tries to go coast to coast himself and does just that. It's a one-point game. Idler tries to force one up. Held ball. The possession arrow keeps it with Mount St. Mary's.
Buteyko Francisco in full court mode. Really doesn't have numbers. Great turn of the shoulder right there. A little shoulder slant. Watch his left shoulder. Right shoulder right there as he dips and goes to the left hand. Very well executed by Francisco in the open court. Now for Mount St. Mary's, you look for Sean Atupum down low with Jeremy Good on the same side, so the double down can't come.
Shot clock at 5. A takeaway. Francisco does it again. A held ball. And this time it goes over to Robert Morris.
And they may want to check the shot clock to see if the held ball came before the shot clock violation, because if it's a shot clock violation, it automatically goes to Robert Morris. They would get the next held ball.
Great point.
And the officials are going to do that exactly right now.
Let's take another look and see when the ball is officially considered a held ball and where the shot clock is. Buteyko Francisco, what great hands to take it away from Good. He's got it. Shot clock at 0. Boy, just as John Hughes, the official on the left side of the screen, put both fingers in the air, signaling jump ball, it was almost simultaneous with the shot clock going to 0.
Watch the baseline official as he comes in. When we show it again, coming up from the bottom, watch the baseline official. He'll come into your screen. Watch when his hands go up. And this is important because Robert Morris is going to get the ball either way. However, if this is a shot clock violation, they get the ball in the shot clock violation. Next held ball goes to Robert Morris in that case. If they call a held ball, then Robert Morris gets the ball because of the possession, but the next held ball would then go to Milan Brown and Mount St. Mary's. It's a critical call, late game with 2:03 to go.
Especially with the way these two teams played defense tonight and the way they do play defense, and the officials have just now determined it is a shot clock violation and not a held ball. So Robert Morris not only gets the basketball, but they keep the arrow for the last 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Next held ball now will go to Mike Rice and Robert Morris. And when you're talking about a one-point game with 2:03 to go, every possession counts.
Down to the last 2 minutes.
Look for Jeremy Chappelle to get a quality touch. I'm sure Mike Rice would like to see him in attack mode off the dribble. There he is, matched up with Gene Kaju.
Into the post, instead it goes to Robinson. Back to Chappelle for 3. Knocks it down! Robert Morris has the lead. Timeout called by Milan Brown. Check that. Robert Morris called the quick timeout right after Chappelle made the bucket. What do you think the strategy is for Mike Rice calling a timeout after Chappelle hits this 3?
Good inside-out execution right here as Jeremy Chappelle puts it inside and then shapes up a Kaju a little bit late. We talked about giving it to the go-to guy. There's your player of the year in the Northeast Conference. Now, on the defensive side, look to double down on Sean Atupum. Don't let him beat you. On the offensive side, you look inside out, put Jeremy Good on the same side as Atupum so they cannot double down.
What a second half it's been for Jeremy Chappelle. 0 for 5 in the first half, 5 of 7 in the second half. It has indeed been the Chappelle show here in the second half.
I'm looking for a Tupum low, Jeremy Good on the same side to avoid the double down. There's a Tupum and Good on the same side. There they are. Well, two-man game, no double. It's one-on-one.
A Tupum lays one off for Mitchell. Tried to feed it back to a Tupum, and it's knocked out of bounds. 15 on the shot clock. And now Milan Brown will call a timeout. 1:19 remaining. Boy, you always remember the big moments in these games. When it comes down to the last couple of minutes in a two-point game, a one-possession game, and one of the big moments earlier on tonight, Robert Morris up by 2. They caught Mount St. Mary's coming off the bench after a timeout with 6 players on the floor. This actually resulted in a technical foul.
5 and 6 players for Mount St. Mary's broke the huddle. The ball was then put in play. 6 Mount St. Mary's on the floor in the first half resulted in a technical foul and 2 made free throws for Robert Morris. In a tight game like this, the little things matter, and that little thing was a huge thing that happened in the first half.
Both teams with a couple of timeouts, neither with a foul to give. Robert Morris a foul away from the double bonus for Mount St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's, if they do trail, still have 2 more fouls where Robert Morris would shoot the 1-and-1, but you can see that little arrow showing that Robert Morris still has the possession arrow for the last 1:19.
Well, now Mike Rice has a decision to make. The ball's gone down to Shauna Tupum time and time again. I got to think that we got to look for a post-to-post double. If you can't double down off of Jeremy Good, send your off-post guy to double and then rotate your backside defense. But don't let Shauna Tupum or Jeremy Good beat you. Make somebody else make a shot. Dallas Green matched up with a Tupum down low on the left-hand block. There's the matchup.
And Shauna Tupum fouled, and fouled quickly. That'll be 2 free throws. Boy, the quick bump called on Dallas Green. So Shauna Tupum, only a 57% free throw shooter, goes to the line to try and tie the game. That's the 10th team foul.
Well, this is why Shauna Tupum is so difficult to defend. You put a big defender on him so you can handle him in the block. Then he can catch it square and take it right to the basket off the dribble. 1 for 5 tonight from the free throw line, Shauna Tupum.
Well, he's now in double figures for the 3rd time in this tournament. At 16 points in the first round against Wagner, 12 in the semifinals against Sacred Heart. Now he's up to 10 tonight in the championship game, and a chance to tie the game with 1:17 to go. Marcus Mitchell sits back down. So Shauna Tupum up front with his big brother Sama Tupum and Kelly Beidler. Mount St. Mary's and Robert Morris. The championship game in the Northeast Conference. Baba Shusen and Mark Adams. It is a tie game with 1:17 remaining. Hopefully the Big Sky Championship between Montana State and Portland State is as good as the one we've had tonight in Pittsburgh.
Mount St. Mary's has not trapped out of their full court man-to-man the entire night. We'll see if they trap here. We'll play them straight up man-to-man.
4 guards and Rob Robinson on the floor for Robert Morris.
And now for Robert Morris, you got to run your offense through Jeremy Chappelle. There he is, matched up with Gene Kaju.
1 minute left in regulation. 1 minute remains in the game.
Robinson, a deep jump hook, no good. Beidler's got the rebound. 52 seconds remaining in a tie game. I think Milan Brown wants a timeout. He does. From the bench, call the timeout for Mount St. Mary's. So 1 remaining for the Mountaineers.
And the 3rd matchup between these 2 teams, obviously very, very familiar. And Milan Brown, who needs a 2 or a 3 right now. Jeremy Good is your 3-point threat. Kaju is another guy that can make it for you, but Shauna Tupum down low or rule him out against a bigger defender. And you just saw Milan Brown look down to see who might be the matchup on Shauna Tupum. If it's a big guy, they'll roll him out, and he can take him off the dribble. If it's a smaller defender, which it should be with this lineup, look for a Tupum down low.
The winner goes to the tournament. If it's Mount St. Mary's, it would be their second consecutive Northeast Conference title and the third straight year that they would have knocked out Robert Morris in Robert Morris's building in the Northeast Conference tournament. Robert Morris trying to get to the tournament for the first time since 1992. Here we go.
Tupum is matched up with Rob Robinson, setting the screen right there. They're going to take him off the dribble. There it is.
Shawn Tupum comes up short. The rebound pulled down by Robinson.
Shot clock is off.
Timeout called by Robert Morris. They have one remaining. Now, you spoke earlier today with Mike Rice as well about where you expect him to go if he needs a bucket in the closing moments.
Well, no question that Mike Rice, when he needs a big basket, you look to your Northeast Conference Player of the Year, Jeremy Chappelle. He'll be the guy that they'll run their offense through to get a look. I mean, they're going to run multiple screens. They'll either run staggered screens to get him open, let him make a play, or give him the ball up top and get out of the way and let him make a play off the dribble.
If Chappelle gets shut down, what do you think option number 2 is? Do you try to go underneath to Robinson, or do you look to one of the perimeter guys like Langhurst or Francisco?
You look for Robinson first because your opportunity to draw contact in the paint is much higher. And you remind Ron Robinson, no matter what you do not fade away. Make the official make a decision. You've got Langhurst on the offside for the open 3 as an outlet for Robinson if he needs a three-point shooting threat on the backside.
The Big Sky Championship getting underway on ESPNU as we speak. So if you're looking for the Big Sky, you can catch at least the start of that game on ESPNU. And then here on ESPN2, as soon as we're done in the Northeast Conference Championship game, we'll head out to Utah.
Mount St. Mary's, and talking to Milan Brown about this specific situation, he will consider running a second defender at Jeremy Chappelle and make him give it up. They won't leave Langhurst, they won't leave Robinson, but they could leave a guy like Dallas Green and run another defender at Chappelle if he catches it.
Chappelle will throw it in. Gets it into his backcourt mate Langhurst. And it was knocked away by the pressure of Jeremy Good. 25 seconds to go.
Well, you want Bateko Francisco to catch this basketball if you can, and there he comes right there. That's a much better choice, setting your offense. Watch 21 in white, Jeremy Chappelle, multiple screens to get him open. There he is.
Will let it wind down, hands it off to Langhurst.
I'm surprised he gave it up.
8 seconds to go.
Now they're going to clear out.
6 seconds to go. Chappelle lost the dribble. It ends up with a jumper that goes down. Dallas Green hits it. 2.5 seconds remaining. And a timeout called by Mount St. Mary's. The funny bounce winds up with Dallas Green, and he hits a potential game winner. How about your whole season? From start, training camp, weight training, preseason, exhibition games, ends all the way up in the last 2 seconds of the conference championship game, and a fluke bounce falls to a forward that averages about 6 points a game, and Dallas Green rises to the occasion.
It went to good, just as we expected, and then the loose ball picked up by Dallas Green. He just goes straight up and knocks it down, but now 2.5 to go, and Robert Morris celebrating, but when you've got a Jeremy Good, and now Milan Brown's goal is to get Jeremy Good the ball on the fly, Bob, not coming to the ball, try to get it on the fly. You've got at least 2 dribbles, which is a lot of real estate that Jeremy Good can make up, and that would be a potential 3-point shot for the victory here for Mount St. Mary's. Watch for Good, also Kelly Beidler, who has some size. They could throw it up to him as well at the half-court area.
Will Holland will throw it in for the Mount. Right on the left side of your screen there, 1 in blue, is Jeremy Good. Just coming into your picture in the lower left is Gene Kaju. Those are the two big three-point options. As now Green will pressure the pass from Will Holland. 2.5 seconds to go. It comes in, and it's intercepted at midcourt and a foul call. Jeremy Good tried to come back to catch the inbound pass and slipped. And the pass from Holland went right over his head, and some of the kids start to rush the floor, and the officials have to get them off the court with 1.9 seconds to go.
Well, if I'm Milan Brown right now, I'm making my case for a technical foul for delay of game as the students rush the floor. Now, should they call it? Probably not. But I'm the road team. I'm making a strong case for that delay of game and should not be acceptable with 1.9 to go. I understand why it happened, but as a coach, you got to use every opportunity you can to give your team a shot to win a game.
Chappelle will shoot the free throws. 2 makes, and he all but ices the game with 1.9 seconds to go. 1 miss, and Mount St. Mary's might still have a chance to toss in a bomb. Chappelle shoots 86% at the line. Can't hit it. Finds his own miss. That'll do it. Robert Morris avenges last year's loss to Mount St. Mary's. They win the Northeast Conference title, and Mike Rice's team is headed back to the tournament for the first time since 1992. It's a scene that gets played out across America in a lot of little gyms, just like the one we're in tonight at the Sewell Center in March. Robert Morris wins the Northeast Conference, and they are headed to the tournament. 48-46 is your final. For Mark Adams and our entire crew, I'm Bob Wischusen. Coming up next, the Big Sky Tournament in Ogden, Utah, where Montana State will take on Portland State. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Pittsburgh. Now it's time to head out west to Ogden, Utah, and crown another champion in the Big Sky with Terry Gannon and Stephen Bardo. Terry?
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask at this time that all fans please clear the court so we can have the award ceremony. Once again, we ask you to clear the court so we can have the award ceremony. Hey fans, NEC Championship t-shirts are available now at the main gate. Supplies are limited, so don't miss out on your chance to show your school spirit and support the same gear as worn on court by Robert Morris University.